Today, on Be Something Wonderful, stop resisting God and do this instead. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back and good morning. Big video this morning. I want to talk about a client that I believe I've mentioned a few months ago when we've had our first sessions. And she was talking about being breadcrumbed, or my SP is breadcrumbing me. My specific person, the person that she wants to be with, is giving her breadcrumbs. She used all of those terms. And the conversation we had was around accepting versus agreeing with. Accepting all quantum possibilities, all realities, all possible identities, and the difference between that and agreeing with that reality. And it seems subtle, and remember, words are just words. But what were we really getting at? That these breadcrumbs that she was saying, these things that she feels that her SP wasn't committing, that he was hot and cold, he didn't initiate. He would call, but he wouldn't go further than that, wouldn't like invite her out or would hint to invite her out. Right? All of that was going on. But remember, you create it all. So that's within you somewhere. So when you reject those things, when you reject reality, when you have this strong non-acceptance of that as a reality, you create it. Do you hear it? So the idea is accept. Remember, infinite, there's nowhere to put it. Trying to get rid of it, trying to change it, trying to make it not be. In fact, put your light on it, makes it a reality, makes it solid. In your non-acceptance, you're agreeing with it. Do you hear this? In your non-acceptance, you're agreeing with it. That's a reality. It's a reality I don't want. But it's solid and it exists. But when you accept it, as one quantum possibility out of an infinite field of possibilities, that it's all God, it's all love, it's all reality, and then call forth your choice, what the reality that you want to agree with. Remember, accept it as a possibility doesn't mean you're agreeing with it as your reality. It doesn't mean you're choosing it. It means you're accepting it as one quantum possibility. This is what we get at. Well, now it's different. Things are going, they're together, right? And when he calls to invite her out. Things have moved. Things have changed. Why? Because she has changed. Meaning she has moved to a different identity. An identity that accepts all quantum possibilities and then chooses her reality, assumes the reality that she wants now, decides what she's going to agree with and not agree with, without resistance, right? I don't agree. This is not my reality. It's not my choice. I don't live there anymore. Very powerful. Accepting means allowing all possibilities, all possible realities, all possible versions of yourself, all possible identities of a multidimensional infinite being that you are to exist. You have no choice. They exist anyway. So why not accept their right to exist? All realities have a right to exist. All versions of yourself, all possibilities, right? And remember, of yourself and others, but there is no other. So I do say others, meaning this SP or the specific person that you wanted to see differently or a different version, but all possibilities, and there's no other, it's all you. Infinity, the quantum field, includes an infinite number of possible realities and identities of you, whether you accept it or not. They all exist, right? God includes all possible abilities. In your non-acceptance, you're resisting God. You're rejecting God, right? Any part of reality is God. And any part of reality is the all of God, all power, all love, all possibilities, all time. So when you reject and resist any of it, you're rejecting and resisting all of reality. And this is why you feel sometimes trapped or feel like there's a pattern or that it doesn't change. That's why. So let's hit it. Not agreeing with a reality or version of yourself or identity means it's no longer your choice. You agreed with it at some point, either consciously or subconsciously. You were in agreement with that reality that you're now saying that is unwanted. Otherwise, you wouldn't be experiencing it. You wouldn't be living it. Right? It doesn't mean you consciously wanted it. But in your non-acceptance, you were agreeing that it does exist. Do you see it? You assumed and believed it, agreed with it, either consciously or subconsciously, or they say unconsciously. But remember, you're never unconscious. It's just below awareness, below your awareness. At one time or else you wouldn't be experiencing it, period. Right? And you say, I'm tired. I remember the conversation. I think I even did a video on this before it turned, right? While we were still talking about it. I'm tired of just getting breadcrumbs. Well, that's what you're creating, a reality of what you view as breadcrumbs, right? In those breadcrumbs is all of the bread, everything you want, right? And you will see the bread, you'll see the fullness, you'll see fulfillment. When you accept it all as one quantum possibility, doesn't mean you agree with that experience. It means you accept it as one quantum possibility, one experience and the possibility of all experiences. And then you choose again, decide what you're going to agree with, right? Right? Doesn't mean you agree with it, but acceptance is important because infinity includes everything, right? Remember, infinity is inclusive. And so when you're trying to exclude something, you're including it. It always says yes, right? Your non-acceptance, your resistance, makes that reality and identity real for you. You continue to perpetuate and create that undesired outcome. Doesn't matter what you're looking at, whether it's a specific person, a house you don't want to be in, a job that you don't like, all of it, right? People around you, or just life in general, you're creating that in your non-acceptance. Doesn't mean you agree with it, but it means that when you accept it, you accept all possibilities to exist and then choose what identity you want to occupy, where you want to move, what you want to assume. So by trying to exclude it, right, the breadcrumbs, the idea that this person's not the way you want them to be, you are including it in your experience every time. That's why it seems like a pattern. That's why it seems so solid and consistent. You're agreeing that's my reality, right? That's your reality. You shine your light and awareness on it and you give it reality. Do you see that? In your non-acceptance, right? By accepting it as one quantum possibility out of a quantum field of infinite possibilities. We're not saying you agree with it. We're saying you accept it as possibility. Then choosing, assuming, imagining, and affirming and calling forth your new choice, you are in a perfect state of allowing as source of all possibilities. Now you're in the allowing state where everything is allowed, but you don't agree with everything that is allowed. You choose what you want. Now you're choosing what part of infinity that you want to experience. That's powerful. So remember, desiring is not aligning, right? All that is inclusive. When you desire to exclude something from your experience, you're including it. Desiring to exclude it, desiring to see something different, desiring not to see that behavior, right? Your focus is on the undesired, right? Now you're not aligning, you're desiring. Desire's okay. That tells you what you want. That's all good. But move from that desire or the desiring to aligning. I desire this and I choose this. I agree with this. I am this. I don't agree with that. I agree with this. Right? I agree. I accept that it's a quantum possibility, but I no longer agree with it. It's no longer my choice. Right? And so desiring keeps you in a state of non-acceptance and focused on what you desire to be different. Hear this. That's really where she was months ago or weeks ago. She was in a state of non-acceptance, focused on what she wanted to be different. She didn't want just the breadcrumbs. She wanted that to be different, right? Instead of knowing that it's all part, behind that is the full reality, behind that is fulfillment. Instead of focusing on the greater reality behind it and then calling that forth and deciding and choosing what she's going to agree with, she was focused on the undesirable. And by thinking that her non-acceptance, her rejection, was bringing forth what she wants. It wasn't, right? Keeps you focused on the breadcrumbs of lack and not enoughness instead of the bread of fulfillment. Remember, in the scripture, bread means that spiritual substance. So those breadcrumbs are spiritual substance. And when you reject them, when you resist them, when you want to get rid of them, when you want to change them, you're rejecting the bread. You're rejecting fulfillment. You're rejecting God. You're resisting it, right? So simply noticing, I really want to get to this because this is what the conversation came up in our session. Simply noticing something unwanted or that's not your choice doesn't mean you're necessarily including it in your reality as your identity. Remember, this is you. You're standing in the center of infinity as a point of God consciousness. You're standing at the center of all realities, all possibilities, all realities. You will, from time to time, notice a reality that's not your choice, that you don't agree with. It doesn't mean you're going to be on that lifeline, on that film roll, or experience that reality. It just means you see it, you notice it. Remember, you stand at the center of infinity, and all possible lifelines or realities or viewpoints or identities or film rolls or scripts or experiences, they're all the same, right? And they're all within you. So when you're chasing it, when you're chasing something, when you're running away from something, when you're resisting something, when you're pushing against something, when you're complaining about it, when you're fighting it, when you're excluding it, when you're rejecting it, you're choosing it. You're choosing, when you're chasing something, you're choosing the reality of never getting it. When you're running away from it, you're choosing the reality of it catching up and following you. When you're resisting it, you're creating reality of things to resist, things to push against, things to reject, to complain about, to fight, to exclude. We talked about this. Remember, choose and agree with your desired reality. Align and allow by choosing and agree to what you agree with. And stop resisting, stop being in a state of non-acceptance of what you don't agree with, right? Allow it all. Just because you allow it to exist, as all things can exist, and existence is the only thing that you can't change, then you're in the state of allowing. Now you can choose. Stop resisting God and do that instead. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for just for being with me every morning here. Thank you for joining the membership channel. Thank you for being a part of our live streams on the membership channel. We will have a live stream on public channel too in the future as well. We have a Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. Visit us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, or just go to our website anytime at tomkearin.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Creators, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, we'll see you soon.